I posted a video of the 880 cutting with a 46 RS that had been square filed, so that's a 404 chisel. I was cutting yellow box, which is this wood on top, getting a lot of comments about how slow it cuts and how it's dull. So I went down the road to the local pine forest, borrowed a bit of wood. I don't have any rounds of this left, I split it all up, but I'm going to try and show you guys what occurs as you're cutting through this, where all that dust is coming from, and I'll show you the difference in the chips as we go through. So I don't know how well that shows up on there, but if we look at our pine chips, we've got these nice big strips. What comes out of this is very different. You can see all this fine dust still. So there's a few things going on here. Wood is extremely dense. Now when I'm talking dense, to put it in American terms, a cord of this weighs approximately 9,000 pounds. If you compare that to, I believe it's the Osage orange or hedge apple, it is about twice the density. So that Osage orange is about 4,200 pounds per cord. This is 9,000. This isn't the densest hardwood that we have in Australia. There is a lot harder than this. However, this is the one I keep chasing because it is extremely good firewood. It burns extremely hot, has a lot of energy density, burns easier than some of the other dense hardwoods. It is difficult to get going. So a few things to point out. The real fine dust you're seeing in the videos is this outer band. It is called the sapwood. You can see it starts to decay a lot sooner than the main part of the actual timber. If this is a whole piece, we'd have the heartwood in the middle, which is like our center rings. In Australian hardwood, the heartwood is softer and generally decays really quickly. If you are milling, say, pine, you can go straight across without a problem. If this was all one big piece of yellow box, you can't use the heartwood. The heartwood is rubbish. If you try and slab this stuff all the way across, it just bends and breaks by the time you get into the middle. There is a whole process in doing this. I'll make a couple more cuts. You can see the difference in cut speed. So that's the sawdust that's coming out from the yellow box. If we compare that to when I get down to this pine, I'll show you the difference. There's our pine. Nice, Alright, hopefully that gives you a rough idea of why the 880 looks so slow when it's cutting. I go a lot more in depth on this. I may do at a later date, but I just wanted to show that. But yeah, you can definitely tell the pine strips versus the dust that comes out the top there. So yeah, don't expect anyone cutting actual hardwoods in Australia to be throwing big long strips. If you are cutting in Australia yourself, you've probably heard that advice that throwing dust means that your chain is blunt, but it can be the timber. You need to know the difference. An actual dull chain cuts very, very different in this to what you would expect. So yeah, we'll just leave it with that today. Hopefully everyone learned something.